Mr. P. Well, we might be able to find for ourselves again if we, thought I might have seen him for a second, but maybe not. You in this little ring of guys here, Mr. P?
Mr. P, natural. As natural a P as you'll ever see.
Sorry. Well, Gao Chan is like floating around, not connected directly to the rest of the freaking clan. Now you, Guo Shi, I hired, and at one point was thinking about making the lovely wife. My wife. Here's Mr. P. He looked like he had a connection with Titus Austin, and then suddenly he didn't. So Mr. P was a big player in the last LP, the Nobunaga's Ambition one. Don't remember hearing a whole lot of comments from him, and if I did, there's just he's making comments and not in character as Mr. P, so I wasn't drawing a connection. But he's a governor of one of the cities that's been fighting on the borders with Shiji, so he should have fairly high deeds and aptitude. He is an officer prisoners. What? He's not a prisoner. He's an officer in charge of prisoners, I guess. He's like a jailer. He's greedy and he loves all sorts of treasure. He's got a high bravery aptitude, and yeah, I made him a governor. So that's what there is to say about him. What happened to Titus? Yeah, that's mainly with Beefington. You're friends with Titus Austin, who just disappeared. So, whatever. Let's get back to it here. After P is Mr. Schultz. No, Mr. Schultz was the one who got murdered by Zhou Tai. So I don't know what happened to Jiang Jian. And I'm pretty sure that I either forgot to make Jim Jams, or he just hasn't come of age yet. But Mr. Schultz, I do not expect to be able to find him, because I remember. I figured once I saw the name I would remember. And for some reason I misidentified Lizard Lord. But no, it's Mr. Schultz. He was murdered by Zhou Tai. It basically means they fought in battle and he got killed. One Shogun would be next. I'm going the wrong way then. So one Shogun is in our force, and put him over there. Yeah, most of these guys don't have anybody whose head floats around with them when you make them the center. He's in my district, so he's actually gotten to do some stuff. I've had him. He kind of took over and became governor of Jiangling after I left, which that had been my city, so it's a pretty good city, but he's defending a city that's on the front line against Liu Zhang, who, with Yuan Shang temporarily mollified, is probably our most powerful enemy until the alliance with Yuan Shang ends. But he's rank 3, he's so gifted in battle that enemies cower with fear. He's a kind of split stats, middle-of-the-road type of character, but he's got a high enough rank that he can serve as a governor, and I need people like that desperately. So that sort of sounded like I was minimizing his role, and me too, but whatever. Next up, Panzer Toll. Now that's a name I remember, because he has really high defense. He's been a big pain in our ass as we try to conquer Wu. So we got to try to make sure that we get him on our side when the time comes, and the time is coming soon. We have a tiny bit of rapport with him, and he's wondering if there's a better clan to join, which is a smart question to be asking, friend. If you can hold out, your duty is already negative 1,000, so you must have been a Yuan Shu officer who joined Wu after Wu took out Yuan Shu. Or you defected away from us because we had you previously and you left us. That's possible too, and I might not remember, because I haven't been taken that as personally as I have in some previous Let's Plays. But he's rank 4. He's got no title. He's got no archenemy, which is something I need to remember to look for. His leadership isn't that great. It's only 40, but they keep using him in battle. What is his forte is defense, Stonewall Command. Okay, he's got defense 9. So yeah, he gave himself some skills that make up for not having the highest war stat or leadership stat ever. Then we've got Ping Guo. This is taking forever. Going through all the Y's and W's. Like, yeah, you're barely getting into the P's at all when you get to the halfway point down the list, but still. Pinguo is a familiar face. He's a very young officer. He joined us late. Like, he wasn't placed at the very beginning of this whole thing. I think. I'm getting confused with somebody else otherwise. He's in Lubu's district, rank 2, Northern Officer of Subjugation. He's got good combat type of stats. Forte is dueling. You wouldn't want to get in a fight with this guy. He'd be able to murder you, just like you were the wife of JG Mystery. He doesn't have an arch enemy, so he probably hasn't murdered anyone who had clan members. And there you go. He's a Northern Officer of Subjugation. Now, the Northern Officer of Subjugation, it seems to me like they should get around to subjugating the North, and that would be Yuan Shang territory. And eventually, Ma Teng territory. Alright, so that's Pinguo. Man, I got a lot of guys left to do. Next would be Ricky J, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so I can actually go through the list a bit faster with one stick than the other. Oh, we've got a couple of created officers in a row here. So Ricky J, you can master strategy. I believe he's still with XIII. And he's the Southern Officer of Deterrence, though he didn't deter us from taking out XIII from the south. Most of his deeds are bravery type of deeds. I believe he's been with XIII the whole time. And hopefully we can get him when we take over XIII's force shortly. After that, it's Rin Satori, who we know very well. She's been one of our ministers, which means that just by occasionally agreeing with the different things that she suggests that we, you should have somebody improve farms, whatever, you quickly over time build up your rapport. And yeah, she actually has JG Mystery in her orbit and her little portrait here. She wouldn't be a bad choice for a wife, if except that I'm not going to do that with created characters. But with her stats and stuff. Well, she's not a good... Actually, you want a war officer for a spouse, because one of the little bonuses is that your tactics and strategies have a boosted effect. I don't think it does much of anything to your domestic abilities. Ironically enough, forming a new household doesn't do anything to you domestically. She's guard officer of rank 2. She's got a lot of merit. She's got a lot of aptitude. She's got a decent amount of bravery stuff too. And overall, she's been a very handy officer to have around the place. Roy Shi. Roy Shi, I think, is still with XIII.
You can master virtue.
And she has formed a friendship with Li Dian, who is playable in one of the more recent Dynasty Warriors games, if I recall correctly. I'm kind of curious about Li Dian now. Officer at XIII, brave veteran, has served XIII since he first raised his army, an intellectual with a calm but cautious personality, occasionally suppressed his colleagues when they acted out. Protected Hefei with Jiang Liao and Yue Jin. That's right, there's like... He and Yue Jin were added to Dynasty Warriors 8, and I'd never seen any previous Dynasty Warriors games, and they just didn't really have a whole lot of character for these guys. So there's Li Dian. Roy Shi? I don't know. Is there love blooming between Roy Shi and Li Dian? It's hard to say. Because either Li Dian or the other guy, one of those two guys, they had this kind of weird thing in Dynasty Warriors 8 where they were hinting that they were gay. I think. Maybe it's in my head. Or I'm getting them confused with different characters. She's 39 years old. She is wearing armor that suggests that she's got big boobies. Sorry, but she is. She's the North Officer of Deterrence. So she's perhaps involved with making sure Yuan Shang doesn't finish them off before Lu Bu can. Rank 2, so should be a good addition to our army. She'll be somebody who, she's a normal officer right now, but she could be a governor, and once we hire her, there's a good chance that she'll end up being governor in one of our cities. Possibly not a frontline city, it's hard to say. We're going to need officers to be governors of the backwaters just to keep them growing so that they can provide troops and shit. But she might be a frontline officer. After Roy Shi, Shaman C is next. There's Shi Ji, the ruler of the force that's been kind of giving us a little bit of headaches in the south recently. You can master patrol. He's got a friendship going with Zhang Ba, which makes me curious about who Zhang Ba actually is. Servant of Tao Quan, who participated in subduing the Yellow Turbans, later fought numerous battles under Lu Bu. In a battle against Cao Cao, he presented a strong resistance with the help of a gang of brigands, submitted at Cao Cao after Lu Bu's defeat and death. Okay. But the real man we're here to see is Shaman C, who is rank 2 lieutenant in Lu Bu's original district. He's the governor of Shangyang. Maybe this is the guy who I was saying, you've got an unusual stat mix, and they were saying, hey, it's working, I'm a governor. Doesn't have an arch enemy yet, so how boring is that? But yeah, despite having a high leadership stat, he's mostly been gaining bravery stuff. So I think he's probably been used to train up troops mostly, and he's been fighting in battles and stuff. And he's currently training near Shangyang, so that makes sense. He's building up our army's aptitudes. Sunda is next. Had a couple of characters created who were given Sun names and vaguely implied to be related to the Sun clan, although I didn't let you pick your parents in this. So here's a portrait that I recognize. He's working for us, though, despite the name. And, yeah, he's been leading troops out of one of Lu Bu's cities, so he's not one of mine. He's one of other Lu Bu forces. He's also got an odd mix, intelligence and leadership, with war being mediocre, but it's working. Rank 3, he's currently assaulting Sunda. Wait, what? Location Sunda. Oh, never mind. He's assaulting. He's probably leading the other unit that's going to be attacking once I get to my main city and I'm forced to march out. But anyway, rank 3 guy in the Lu Bu district with mostly bravery stuff as opposed to aptitude stuff. Keep on keeping on. Sun Jason's next. That is a name that I recognize. That's come up a few times. I'll feel silly when I see this portrait because I don't remember who that is right now. Yeah, Sun Jason is, I think, in my district. He is, and we made him a governor of Wu. Oh, that's right, he just recently got that. Can't remember exactly what I was doing with him before that, but he was leading troops in combat for sure, to some extent. He's rank 2 guard captain. He's currently on a farming mission, so probably not that excited about it. His duty record is negative, which means we must have hired him away from another force before that was destroyed. And he's mostly got bravery stuff that he's built up. He will probably stay in Wu. Just, you know, if I get a good governor in one of those cities, I'm probably not inclined to take them out. Because the day is coming where I need to hire as many guys from the Sun Quan and Cao Cao forces as they're dismantled as I can, and just make sure I've got a governor and a couple of officers in each city so that they actually continue to grow. Sun Zero is up next. That's not somebody whose name I've seen popping up as much. Oh, no, I do recognize you. You are an officer who's been giving us some difficulty in combat. Another fun portrait. She is rank 6, so not a super high rank. I'm thinking, no, her duty record's 74, so the leadership of 87 and war of 98, I guess... I'm surprised that she hasn't been involved in more combat. Her record is mostly bravery type stuff, but... Anyway, well, maybe if you join our force, we'll make better use of you than the Sun clan has. Alright. Our good friend Titus Austin's next. We keep running into him along the road, so I think he's getting dispatched on sneak missions, because we keep seeing him on the move between cities instead of constantly staying in one city working on farming or whatever. He might be placating and stuff. Villages and the like. Titus Austin is in Lubu's district. Maybe that's why we're seeing him on the move, because my officers I keep assigning to do things in their own city, and he's doing God knows what with his. It's War Minister in Yuzhang. Minister of Oration at rank 2, so that's pretty good. He's got spy work expertise, so maybe they are sending him off to do spy missions. He's got negative duty, so he must have defected away from another force. The rank 2 Master of Oration, not bad. Not bad at all. Getting a title is pretty impressive in this game. Now we got Tedestro. Oh, see, I was going to say I haven't seen much of you at all, and that's because you're in Ma Tang's force. We haven't been interacting with them. He's tight with Ma Tui and Yang Kui, who feels that iron will sharpen iron with JG Mystery. But yeah, he's got a really tight relationship with a couple of the Ma's. Maybe this is the guy who keeps joking about how, oh, we're totally going to take over. Don't mind us, we're quietly plotting. He's rank 3 Officer of Defense. And he's got mostly aptitude stuff, so I guess he's, by the Ma Tang officer standards, his 70 intelligence and 12 governance makes him a good political officer. I'm not really sure what to tell you there. Because they got a lot of guys with really high war and decent leadership, and not that smart and not that politically savvy, apparently. Up next is the Zax. We're closing in on the end of this thing, folks. I'll actually do a little gameplay of this game. Spent a lot more time on this than I meant to. Actually, let me see how long this video has been. I don't think I can split it again at this point. Oh, well, you know what? I can just split it. I'll split this one in half after I'm done. That's fine. Alright. So it'll be 3 videos worth of talking about people and not actually doing anything. Did we just find the Zax? There's the Zax. He's on his lonesome. He's in Lubu's district, West Officer Deterrence, rank 3. So yeah, we're not seeing too much of him because he's a middle-of-the-road officer. He's probably not on the march that much. And he's in Lubu's district. He's got mostly bravery stuff, though. And he's currently protecting Ping Guo. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see him in combat once we start fighting Yuan Shang. Uncle Draki. We'll certainly recognize the portrait. Fuck Uncle Draki. Just kidding, folks. I don't have a big issue with Uncle Draki. I would think that Uncle Draki would have tons of friends in a big circle around him. Got 100 loyalty. He's the West Commander, rank 3. He's the Governor of Guangling. Doesn't have any particularly huge rapport with JG Mystery. And mostly doing bravery stuff. But yeah, he's a governor. And he's the West Commander. Despite not being in a western city. What you gonna do? Vulture Bean, Vulture Bobo, and Vulture Hazel are next. I don't think Vulture Hazel has shown up yet. I'm not sure that she will, and if she does, probably the fate of China will be essentially settled. So let's be Vulture Bean first. And part of what's amusing about this is that Vulture Bean's rapport with JG Mystery is higher than Bobo's.
You can master commerce.
So she's friends with JG Mystery, and Well, I guess no. Probably the rapport was automatically set at 100 between JG Mystery and Vulture Bobo. But with these guys floating around out here, Futong. These are always the same guys. I don't get this. But anyway, she's got friendship with JG Mystery, marriage with Vulture Bobo, of course. She's been in our district for a long time, and I've been getting a lot of use out of her and her she's a governor now, but for a long time she was like a domestic minister. And she's rank 2 junior prefect, which is pretty high rank. Best friends, about my best friend. Spouse is Vulture Bobo. She's got a little bit of duty, a little bit of bravery, and a ton of aptitude, because she's basically been keeping... every time JG Mystery marches out with a bunch of troops and says, watch things while I'm away, it had always been Vulture Bean who was in charge of the city after he left, because she would be the ranking officer who wasn't going out on military missions, because she didn't have military stats. She does have 1 level heroism, though. Well, Vulture Bobo's next. He's easy enough to find. He's got a much more complicated family tree going here. He's got a level 1 French... Oh, no, that's right, because he's sworn brothers with Lu Bu now. And Lu Bu has a relationship with Feng Jiao. He has got a friendship with Jiao Chan, who is apparently friends with one Shogun, even though somehow one Shogun didn't show Jiao Chan when we did his... I don't get it. So, you can see JG Mystery's got the friendship with the Falger clan that brings all these people in. Got Sha Moke is friends with JG Mystery because I buttered him up before hiring him. Cheng Bing and Bu Lian Shi. So yeah, Vulture Bobo's got an interesting little social tree going here. Rank-wise, I don't think he's done as well as Vulture Bean has. He's rank 3, so he's 1 rank behind her. So it's not that bad, the difference, but what an awesome portrait, though. He's got significantly more... He's got like really high honor or bravery that he's worked up, not that hot for aptitude. Yep. If we had him in our district, I'd be using him a lot more. But he's out... He's governor of one of the cities out in the west, I believe. Which means that he's been marching out to help us a lot recently with Liu Zhang. Alright, Vulture Hazel we are not going to find, so next up is Wan Long. Wan Long, there we go. That's the portrait we've been seeing a lot of. He's got a sprinkling of skills all over the place. He's the Northern Officer of Deterrence, rank 2, in Lu Bu's force of Lu Bu's district. Lu Bu's district, or Lu Bu's force, I should say. Got a lot of bravery, actually more than Vulture Bobo did. And ranked up to just as high a rank. And he's more out in the east around Lu Bu's like own main territories. So, military officer through and through. Wen Bu would be next. Come on, Wen Bu, where you at? There you are. Shouty McShouterton. I keep thinking he's like a historical officer with like a yellow turban. Or a blue turban, I suppose. He's a West Officer of Deterrence with Cao Cao. I don't know how much there's going to be to say about him. He doesn't have a huge amount of deeds built up, really. He's got good stats for a war officer, but Cao Cao's got a lot of people with like 90+ leadership in war, so it's kind of hard for somebody with that build to necessarily jump out. So he might be somebody that we get some use out of after Cao Cao's force goes down if we can hire him. Didn't mean to back all the way out, but that's not that big a deal. From there, next up is Yan Sammy. You can tell we're almost done. You can master commerce. Yan Sammy, unfortunately, is working for Sun Xuan. His duty is positive, so he probably has been working for him all along. He's a rank 3 patrol commander. He's got a lot of honor, or a lot of aptitude record built up. Because he's pretty much a domestic officer. He's been working his way up the ranks for a force that's about to go down. And he seems to be saying, you can master commerce, as opposed to... Oh, he's got respect for us, based on probably one of the debates I won against somebody famous. But he is not saying, maybe there's another force I should be working for, as some of the other guys. You see a little exclamation mark, like they're saying something. Half of them, it seems, are saying, maybe there's another force I should be working for. Didn't actually mean to stop on Genji there, I just kind of randomly did. Yang Jiao is next. Here's the guy we've been seeing a lot of. He has formed a deep friendship with Fat John. He is like the domestic, he's the cool domestic half of Fat John's fiery warrior passion. That's implied something I didn't particularly mean to imply. He's rank 3 sub-chancellor. He's in Lu Bu's initial district. I might need to go talk to this guy and develop a rapport with him because he keeps fucking voting against, and no matter what I recommend at council, he always votes against it. So I might have to go make friends with him just so I can more effectively control those meetings. But he's mostly got bravery, which is unusual. I guess he's got a high leadership and high intelligence. He looks like a domestic guy. And sub-chancellor is pretty high rank. These two guys collectively keep showing up at those meetings and spoiling my plans. So that was who? That was Yang Jiao. So all we got left is Yunjiba and Zhao Shi, and we're done. All these Yuans. Why couldn't they have fallen out with each other? Yunjiba is a governor for Lu Bu Force. He looks like a historical officer portrait for some reason to me. Rank 2 strategy genius. No arch enemy. Most of his stuff comes from bravery. So yeah, he's like a good. He's a 100 leader, 100 war, I should say so. He's a souped up military general who's climbed up the ranks and is governor of GIP, which was one of Cao Cao's cities, I think. Or one of the cities that... I think it's one of our starting cities that Cao Cao would normally take. And then last, Zhao Shi. I can't find Zhao Shi. Are we going to end with me not being able to find an officer? That would be sad. No, there he is. It was G-H-A-O, not G-H-O-A. Or G-H-U-A, whatever. Oh, great, I lost him in all of this. Is there any way to zoom in closer? Ah, oh, damn it, there he is. He's got no chart of his own, really. He's an officer of defense, rank 6. You know, this might be my fault. I stuck him in a city where he really hasn't been able to do much of anything. He keeps being asked to, like, patrol and raise fealty when his war skill is, like, 12. He's got high leadership. But no, I stuck him in one of the cities that's down there named Shiji. He's a... No, well, now he's a war minister in GIP with Lu Bu. I'm confusing him with somebody else. He must have defected from his original force because he's got crappy loyalty. Whatever. Alright. Who cares? That's it for this video, folks. It's going to be split after the fact, so it took me between explaining what's been going on in the LP up to this point and then going through all the characters, it took me like 3 videos. I was kind of hoping that I could get it done in 2, but it didn't. So we're about to see the fall of Cao Cao and Sun Quan's forces, and I guess we just won't do another one of these for a good while. This might be the only one we do, possibly. It depends on whether people ask for more of these. Because it took a while. It took a lot longer than I expected. I'm a Serious JG. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.